Hey, you know what it is, y'all. Savage AF. That was a weird way to open the show, huh? Just like all up in your grills and shit. But you know how we do it, man. Savage AF. It's your boy Black Pedro right here. Typically, please give me thumbs up or acknowledgement that you can actually hear me because I have no one to sound check off of today. So you know what it is, man. Actually, today I do know where Shang is, and he won't be here. It's just gonna be me today. So buckle up. If you don't like me, get the fuck out now, because this is all it is today. Savage AF with your boy Black Pedro. Comedian Shang right now is in Jackson, Mississippi. So if you are in Jackson, Mississippi, A, move. But B, if you're there tonight and you're listening to the show right now, you're fucking up. You should be wherever Shang is. And I'm sorry I don't have the details on the venue or the club, but you know what it is. Money Penny 212, thank you for the thumbs up. Y'all can hear me. Archeo Mom, I appreciate you. Wendy Edwards, I love you. Who else is in the building? Nicole H, I see you. Lady Hazel May, Christina Brown. Thank you, ladies, for joining in. I'm sure the fellows will come through. We don't show up till the ladies are there, so don't worry. Al B. Fuller, I see you, bro. Thank you for joining in. You're following the ladies. I appreciate that. So we are Savage AF, man. And when I say we, it's just me today. But we're on Monday through Friday, live, YouTube and Facebook simultaneously. That means same time in British. Mondays and Fridays, typically, we are on at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, typically. Tuesday through Thursday, typically, we are on at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you don't catch us live on YouTube or Facebook when we're on, you're fucking up. That's a mistake. But if you can, I understand people got lives. You can go to our YouTube page. I got the banner up right now for those who are listening. YouTube.com/c, the letter, /Savage AF World, all one word. Savage AF World, all one word. YouTube.com/c/Savage AF World. On YouTube, we have all the shows archived, so you can catch them there. They are there, not going anywhere. So go get it. And if you typically can't ever watch it, right? Maybe you're on the road doing things, always driving. Maybe we're a drive time show for you. I appreciate that. You can get us wherever you get your podcasts: iTunes, Google Play, Slacker, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and SoundCloud. Yeah. I don't know what that was. But SoundCloud, that's another place you can find us, guys. You know what we do here, man. We talk politics and I don't give a fuck style. Fuck your feelings is our motto. Facts matter. If you're not following us already on the Instagrams, you should stub your own toe for yourself, just to let the pain remind you of the shit you should have been doing. Okay. But make sure, and I'm going to crawl it across the bottom there, that you're following at Savage AF Radio on IG. Make sure you're following, and I'm going to give you a visual on this one, at Comedian Shang. Okay. That's very important. If you're not doing that, you're not doing anything. And then also, as a subsidiary, sorry, as a subsidiary of the Savage AF franchise, follow at Black Pedros as well. So at Savage AF Radio, at Comedian Shang, at Black Pedro. That's who I am. It's right here on the bottom of the shit. Okay, there we go. Boom, right there on the bottom of the screen. We got it. Savage AF, y'all. We do a show here, like I said, Monday through Friday. And tonight we will not be ending with the Shangri, obviously. We also will not be ending with a Black Pedro pop-in. I'm just not doing one today, because how I'm gonna pop in when it's only me on the thing. Like I'm just gonna do the show today, and that's what it is, y'all. So sit back, buckle up, Strap in. Let's go. Strap in. Don't strap on. That's weird. You do that on your own time. Okay. We got shit to do. It is Thursday, June 24th, 2021. Let's go get it, y'all. We're going to end today's show talking about you about to lose your job. And that's to you, Rudolph Giuliani. Rudy Giuliani has had his legal license suspended. Let's talk about it. That's going to be a fun one. But before we get into that, we're gonna look through the Pelosi-Scope as she announces that, and that's Nancy Pelosi, leader of the House, announces that she's going to form a Democratic-led committee, a House-led committee, to investigate and probe into the January 6th insurrection. Let's talk about it. But today, June 24th, Thursday, 2021, President Joseph Robinette Biden, I believe, made a stride today, in the sense that he his Build Back Better is, actually moving forward. Okay, the voting rights bill, dead in the water. Senate didn't want to do shit about that. Republicans, GOP, the last thing they want is niggas to have rights in a democracy. But this infrastructure bill that Joseph Robinette Biden, president of the United States, has been trying to get through, and that Democrats have been trying to get through, they finally seem to have struck a deal here, and in doing so, the plan it's going to be about $1.2 trillion. It is going to, I'm sorry, it's a bit much for me to try and pull in pictures and all of this stuff on my own while I talk about it. But it's $1.2 trillion over 8 years. 500 billion of it is in new spending, which I think is important to understand, because that means that 700 billion of this was already intended to be spent in some way. So over 8 years, it's really only $500 billion of new spending, if I'm reading that correctly. So let me see, there won't be any, the GOP wasn't allowing for any, what the president is calling human infrastructure, things that like directly, childcare payments and things like that. He wanted to do it. They didn't want to do it through this, but for transportation alone is 312 billion. Roads, bridges, major projects, 109 billion goes to that. Safety is 11 billion. Public transit. NPR has a great article that just breaks it all down in terms of the, what money is going where. But, I just can't see how it would how the GOP could not pass this bill or come to some kind of agreement on infrastructure when in the past 2 days, okay, you have had a pedestrian bridge collapse over an expressway in Washington, D.C., in the Capitol. Breezy JJ's, holler if you hear me. I know you're out that way, girl. Right? Motherfucking literally, bridges are falling down. They all fall down, right? Like, it landed on 3 fucking cars. I don't think anybody was killed or necessarily injured, but that's infrastructure. When a pedestrian bridge falls on top of cars on the street, infrastructure is probably fucked up. That infrastructure was absolutely fucked up. Speaking of fucked up infrastructure or whatever happened in Florida, I'm sorry, I can't remember the name of the town right now, but motherfucking like a third of a building of a condo unit just collapsed. Just like felt like the face, like the balconies and all that shit, apartments just fell, my nigga. Like, that's what I woke up to this morning. A building just half, a third fucking falling off. Nicole H., I don't think it was Miami. Miami Beach. I don't know. Money Penny, I see you too. I thought it was something. I thought it was another name like Surf Springs or Surfboard, Florida. Something, but it's in that area. Yeah, it's definitely in that Miami area. But I don't think it was Miami proper. I could be wrong. I see a lot of people saying Miami, so whatever. Maybe it was a neighborhood of Miami. yada yada yada. It's southern Florida, and at this point, the first lady of Paraguay is looking for her family who lived in that building. She had family in that building, right? So a lot of senior citizens and younger people lived in that building. I believe they have 51 people unaccounted for as of this morning when I last checked in on the story. But the reality is, infrastructure in America is poor, right? The engineers, the National Society of Engineers, whoever they are, they've given, I think, America like a C minus in terms of infrastructure. Which, if you're the star on the a football team, and not that bright, Surfside. Thank you, Wendy. It's Surfside, Florida. Yeah, I knew it had something to do with surf. Thank you, Wendy, for that. But you know, if you got buildings and shit falling apart like this, like you gotta, it's time to pull out the pocket, bro. Like you gotta, like my car fucked up last week. I had to come out for that. You gotta put out, I'm gonna get reimbursed, yeah. But I can't just be like, oh well, fuel pump doesn't work. Fuck, I'm gonna do is stick my foot out the goddamn door and swag surf my way back to LA. Like, no, motherfucker, you gotta fucking fix it. So AJ Fitch, you know what's up, man. I see you in the building. Evelyn Gatlin, I see you as well. Bridges are garbage here too. And I think you're in the NYC area. But across America, I don't care where you are, our entire infrastructure system is completely fucked. In Detroit, where I grew up, there's an adage, right? A local joke that there are only two seasons in Detroit. Okay. There's winter and construction. Those are the two seasons, right? Winter is winter. And then when it's not winter, they spend the rest of the time fixing the roads that got fucked up during the winter. And then they get re-fucked up during the winter. And then you just sit in traffic in the summer because they don't close the highway down to half a lane so that they can fix all the winter shit. And, it's just a cyclical thing that goes over. So we constantly put Band-Aids on these, sort of long-term problems, and it won't happen. I see people shouting out places where it's all fucked up. Chicago too. Listen, wherever you are, your infrastructure is most likely all fucked up. Okay, we got buildings falling down. We got motherfucking bridges falling down. We can't live like this. Like right now, there are in the South. I'm blanking on the city, but it's like where major highways meet, and a bridge has been shut down because it has structural failures in it, like literal, cracks and fissures in structural beams, steel beams. Like you can't run cars across it. So everybody has to divert to this other highway, and it's now got everything jammed up, and all the trucks are backed up, and they got the pork and the beef and the G.I. Joe with the Kung Fu grip. And, you just things aren't able to be moved across this country as fluidly as they should be. Thank you, Nicole. Memphis, Tennessee, Arkansas. Thank y'all for helping me co-host this show today, because I couldn't pull it all in on myself. Hectic day, had to get an audition out last minute. Blah blah blah. First world actor problems, but that was my day. So we getting through it though. But essentially, Biden has struck a deal with the devils, right? Like. This is a bit of compromise that has had to go on in order to get anything done, which we understand. But I don't want this president to get in the habit of trusting or relying on what do they call it? Good faith politics from the other side, right? Like this is not something we should get used to. I'm literally thinking that the only reason they were able to strike a deal is, bitch, you had a bridge fall down in the Capitol on top of cars, a pedestrian bridge. Like, how could you possibly say that it's not time to upgrade infrastructure? It happened around the corner, outside your window, down the street from you, bro. So we got facades of buildings just collapsing. And when I say buildings, I mean condo, where people live. You could see an exposed bunk bed set, obviously for two little kids, just semi hanging off the building and shit. Like, where are those kids? I don't know. Hope everybody's safe. But all of these things are avoidable with the proper upkeep and investments in our infrastructure. As a student of architecture and common fucking sense, there's no way we can get by without this deal, or without a deal. I won't say this deal, but over the next 8 years, $1.2 trillion have been earmarked to be spent, roads, bridges, and other types of infrastructure, including, internet and energy. So come on, America. This is the Build Back Better part of the Biden campaign. So let's see it work. But he has gotten something done and been able to strike a deal with the fucking devils that they are in the GOP. So let's see what this becomes, y'all. Savage AF, your boy Black Pedro is in the building. Make sure you're always following at Comedian Shang. He's live in Jackson, Mississippi right now. To be honest, this is one of them gigs I'm not sure I even want to. I'm like, Mississippi? Go ahead, bro. I love you, man. Holla if you need me. That being said, speaking of these devils out here, Nancy Pelosi has decided to say, fuck it. If the GOP does not want to take the time to figure out why a horde of cracker monkey orcs descended upon, scaled the walls, broke windows, and built gallows just to specifically hang the vice president of the United States, who they voted for. If you guys don't want to look into that, fuck it, I'll do it. So, and this is something we knew that she always had, Nancy Pelosi, leader of the House of Representatives, the majority leader, Democrat. She's always had this power to do this. So I think this is kind of the Democrats' strategy all along through this time right now. Is like, okay, we're going to let you, Carolina boss, I see you. It's Memphis, Tennessee, I-40 westbound. I hear you, bro. So that's the congestion area we're talking about. And it was Memphis. Thank you for that reminder. But without that infrastructure being, fixed, we all will begin to see effects in our lives. But we're going to keep it moving on to this next topic. Pelosi, she has decided to form a Democratic-led committee when the Republicans had a chance to have a balanced sort of 50-50 bipartisan committee to look into the January 6th. They poo-pooed that. Okay. And when I say poo-poo, I mean they did some bullshit. Poo-poo, bull poo-poo. And, decided, no, we don't need to look into that because we're involved. Why would I investigate myself? The fuck? Come on, bro. It's fucking, come on. So they're like, they're basically on that shit. And so that being said, I think this is the Democratic strategy, is to like, okay, we're always going to give you a chance to work with us and hold hands and walk down the aisle together. But if you don't want to work with us, fuck you. Fuck you. And I appreciate your emoji game, Breezy JJs. You know what we're talking about. But so this is the fuck you from Nancy Pelosi, right? She is saying, bro, I got the power to form my own committee. Tried to bring you in on this thing, but you don't want to dance with us? Cool, baby. Play that song, Sam. DJ, spin that record. Remix! Drop that shit. And now she is, now they're going to have a Democratic-led committee. There will be some GOP representation on it. There will be Republican representation, but this will be now a Democratic-led committee that, will have, obviously a partisan focus, right? Like this is the Democrats looking at basically what did these Republicans do? Because as far as we know, hasn't been any sort of implication or an inkling of implication that any Democratic politician was involved in, the the insurgents, the insurrection on January 6th. Like that, we don't know of any Democratic politicians. You know, we haven't heard a bit of, not a word about any of them being involved or, you know, supporting or coercing any of this shit, right? So, you know, this is strictly going to be the Democrats hunting for Republicans. And if the Republicans didn't want that to happen, they should have fucking formed a committee that they had power on, and now they don't have it. But they didn't want to do it because they're fucking guilty. Like there's a bunch of motherfuckers, I'm sure. I'm admitting I have no evidence. Okay. Facts matter, but sometimes, goddamn it, I got instincts. Instinct. And my instincts tell me that there are many because we saw it out loud, right? We saw it as we get into our next story. It's going to be, it's what it's about, right? It's the reality that from your Josh Hollies to your Paul Gosars to your Lindsey Grahams to your Marco Rubios and Ted Cruz's and wow, man, you know, Matt Gates's and Marjorie Taylor Greene's and Lauren Boebert's. And I think I'm about to name every motherfucker, every Republican in our government in a second. But the list does go on of these people who out loud on microphones said, you know, false things leading up to the election, after the election, leading up to the insurrection and after the insurrection that have all just some of them are still out there perpetuating the insurrection, right? So it's not even, you know, I'll take the instinct back. Okay. Pardon that brain fart if you smell it. Okay. I'm going to take that instinct back and just say it's facts. We've seen them stir this pot. You know what I mean? As much as I love pot, don't be stirring my shit like this. Okay. So, you know, Nancy Pelosi is essentially, I think, leading a witch hunt. But in this case, it's not Salem, right? Massachusetts. We're in Witchville, right? Like that's what DC has become. And the GOP party has become Witchville. Like these are witch motherfuckers. Witch McConnell, okay? The motherfucker has a dark heart. He's into the dark arts. He would definitely have been in Slytherin if this was a Harry Potter type world, right? Like just the filthiest of filth soul motherfuckers. Okay. So we see the evil going on, and she's going for it, man. She's like, all right, fuck it. Going with that Democratic playbook right now. You know, I think that's been a lot of the moves. It's like, oh, well, we're reaching across the aisle. Oh, you don't want to shake my hand? Fuck you, bitch. We got the majority in this bitch, except for when Joe Manchin or fucking Kristen Sinema want to be, you know, devil monkeys playing up to the GOP side. But whatever. Hey, you know what it is, y'all. Speaking of devils, witches, bitches, punk motherfuckers, before I actually get to that, just a reminder, Savage AF, y'all. You know what it is. Make sure when you're on the YouTubes, okay, which is where our show is archived if you don't catch us live. When you're on the YouTubes, make sure you're doing this. Now, you don't have to make all the sound effects. The whoop, whoop, ding, ding, ding. Like, you know, it's keep your life simple. I don't want people to think you're weird in your own house. You know, live your life. But when you do go to the YouTube page, make sure you're subscribing and clicking that bell for notifications, because when we come on, you want to know it. And sometimes we might be a surprise, or we might send out a notification, you know, some sort of a special announcement. Why would you want to miss out on that? All this wealth of knowledge. Okay. My shirt is like peach and navy blue right now. So why would you ever want to miss out on that? Sorry, guys, I'm choking over here. Hold on. That's what water's for. Okay. So you know what it is, man. We're going to end tonight's show. As I was saying, speaking of witches, bitches, cracker monkeys, devils, probably the main one. I won't say the main, but one of the main architects, engineers, you know, donkey-minded whole fucks behind Trump, Trumpism, Trumpty Dumptyism, empty Dimpty Dumpty fuckism has been Rudy Giuliani, right? Rudy Giuliani, formerly known, excuse me, as America's mayor, right? After 9/11, the World Trade Center, the Twin Towers were collapsed and the city was in shambles. Rudy was down there. You know, he was in the mix. I wish he had gotten some of that first responder lung or whatever. He didn't. Came out clean on that end. But I would say maybe some of that asbestos and other chemical materials that he may have run into at the at Ground Zero, 20 years ago. Damn, we're coming up on the 20th anniversary this September 11th. So here's what it is, man. Your boy Rudy Giuliani had his fucking license suspended, man. Man, and when I say that nothing made me happier today than to hear that shit, I mean nothing, bro. Like, this was beautiful news to me. When you talk about a man who has a legal license, okay? He has been a district attorney in New York. He has been mayor of New York. He has been an attorney general of the United goddamn motherfucking States. He has been the top cop in America. And leading up to post-election 2020, and leading up to the insurrection, he was full on board with the cracker monkey, orc-minded conspiracy that the election was stolen, that Americans need to go out and fight, and trial by combat, I believe, quote unquote, was absolutely the term he used verbatim on January 6th, just, moments before people combated officers and lives and fingers and eyeballs were lost. Miss Avril, I see you out there, Sergeant at Arms. Get him, girl. Go ahead. Do what you do. She's on watchdog mode right now. But, Rudy Giuliani, he then continued to go so far as to try and bring up court cases about the illegitimacy of the election. And out loud, he was saying things to the public about how the election was stolen and the fraud. But then he went into court and he couldn't yell fraud because it was a fucking lie. And you can't lie in court. But another thing you shouldn't be doing as a lawyer is lying out loud to the public. And between the bullshit he has said in court and all of the bullshit he said in these streets, the New York bar was like, bruh, bar's closed. It's closing time. And they suspended his fucking legal license. So right now, Rudy Giuliani, former personal attorney to President Trumpty Dumpty, a former attorney general of the United States, a former district attorney, has had his license revoked, cannot serve as a lawyer right now, and hopefully ever again, because he's a fucking idiot. And should absolutely have his shit revoked. Because if you're going to go out there with Just for Men dripping down your cheek and screaming about fraud that isn't happening and foaming at the mouth about conspiracies and lies, you shouldn't be, you should have his legal license revoked, his driver's license. I don't know if this nigga got a fishing gaming license, but yeah, you nigga park the boat. Ain't no more catch and release for you, motherfucker. Okay. What other kind of licenses do you need? He shouldn't be allowed to use a Metro card in New York on the subway. I doubt if he was ever riding the subway anymore, but even if he wanted to, okay, there's no good goddamn way he should be allowed to acquire a Metro card. It's too much responsibility for a man this far gone. Nicole H, you hear me? All of them gone, girl. Just take everything. This nigga men's club discount card. Now, nigga, you full price for them suits. You understand me? All right? Full motherfucking price. Now, the vest ain't free, nigga. The 3-piece gonna cost you 4 pieces. Okay? You'd be lucky if you get 2 of them. I'll just give you the tops and how you walk out here ass out, because that's what he is now. Ass out. No more fucking legal license. But it's it's a beautiful thing. I think it's also indicative of, or maybe the first domino. You have all these other lawyers that any of the ones that were on at the end. What's the woman's name? Sydney something, and the other dude. Like they there was a few lawyers that you went too far, right? There were lawyers that have represented this man, Trumpty Dumpty, that is, over the years. But when it came to this shit, to arguing fraud in court in front of a judge, a federal judge, and you're going in there to tell lies. You have nothing to say but bullshit. Fellas, every time you tried to convince a woman you didn't cheat, all of that shit, nigga. Be real, dog. You're going in here with bullshit right now. You just gotta sell it, bro. Stay strong. Look her in the eye. Head up. Don't do this shit, or you fucked, right? You know what you did. You know what you about to do. You about to tell this fucking story, but you gotta go in there. Don't put the dye in your hair, because once you sweat, nigga, and that shit drip down, it's guilty. Guilty. So, some of these lawyers understood, hey, look, I can't be out here like that. All right, I'm just gonna go ahead and then go back to the pool with the kids, and we're chilling. But Rudy Giuliani and a few others, they went there. They absolutely went there, and they deserve every loss that they take for doing it. Since then. So this I hope is just the beginning of many punishments, of potential jail time for Giuliani and any of the other attorneys who went this far to represent Donald Trumpty Dumpty and to keep his lie going. And that's all any attorney served to do at a certain point. You know what I mean? Like, that's all they were doing at a certain point, was living up the lie that Trump was doing. And Rudy Giuliani, he was always a Republican. So, I'm not sure he would always been it would have been my favorite guy at any time. I've never lived in New York for more than a couple of months. One summer I spent there. So, as a citizen, he hadn't affected my life as a legislator or a person who governs over a district or a territory. But not saying that he would have been my favorite guy overall anyways, but I don't know what happened to you, bro. Like, obviously he fell into some, it's like when I look at all these guys kiss each other's ass, when you look at Trump kiss Putin's ass, you're like, what does that man have on you? And we look at these motherfuckers follow Donald Trumpty Dumpty down this same ass kiss path of death and anal destruction. You're like, what does this man have on you? Rudy did something. He went on one of them Russian trips and got in the pictures too. And now, assed out, dog. Now you got to act like the dickhead donkey lawyer and be a fucking clown with makeup and dye dripping down your face, because you ain't a man no more, bro. You've compromised your morality. You've compromised your integrity, your fidelity as a human, as an adult. But guy to guy, as a man, Rudy Giuliani, you've completely eroded any foundation that you'd stand on that would allow you to be a respectable dude. So now that that's gone, who are you, bro? You're not even a lawyer right now. Me and Rudy Giuliani have the same amount of rights to practice law in New York right now. So congratulations, bro. I didn't even have to go to law school to reach your level. Yeah. Dodge that bullet. Yeah. Um, Breezy JJ says it well. He drank the Kool-Aid. You just kind of wish it was the same Kool-Aid from Jamestown that was actually poison and and didn't just cause brain damage, but maybe actually took him out too. Because at this point, these motherfuckers are useless. And I don't even know what to tell you on this one. Sorry guys, I've missed some of the back and forth tonight. I know Miss Aver, my baby mama, daddy mama, who got me pregnant. She's she's in rare form, in her true sergeant at arms form. So we love y'all for that, man. So that's the show for today, guys. We did a little quickie one. It's an intimate, just you, Black Pedro, and my mama's bedroom, guest room where I'll be staying. That's a picture of me right there. It's a portrait right there. It's hard to like guide your finger opposite, but that right there, that's me. All right, guys. So Savage AF, we'll be back here tomorrow. It will be Friday, which means we will be on at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Shang will be back in the mix. So will I. God willing, and the creek don't rise. Okay, nobody's promised tomorrow, but I promise tomorrow that we will be on at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Should tomorrow come. That being said, please, guys, please stay safe out there. Stay sane. And stay the fuck out of the GOP, y'all. We are Savage AF. I'll see y'all tomorrow. We're out. And